Hey guys, it's your favorite gold miner, prospector, and geologist, Jeff Williams. And today we're gonna do something different. Instead of talking about gold, we're gonna talk about silver. Silver bullion to be exact. And we happen to know where there's a whole lot of it hiding out here in the wilderness. So let's get into it. The Mormons came down here in 1868 of March, and they were rumored to have hidden tons of gold down here when they were being pursued by the US cavalry. And they were headed towards San Bernardino. But along the way, they ran out of provisions and water. So they stopped here. So they figured this was a good place to stash all their gold and silver, because in those days, they didn't deal with paper currency. They dealt with gold and silver. And not only that, but there's another story of wagon loads of silver coins coming up here, $20,000 worth, headed over to the Ptoy mine. And they got ambushed by a bunch of Paiute Indians. And of course, as the story goes, only one survived the ordeal, and he was being cared for by a Paiute woman. And when he was in her care, he told her the story of where the silver coins were buried. And he said that they were buried behind a large rock. And I think I know where they're at. So we're gonna go looking for them. But I'm not gonna do anything until you smash that like button, smash it hard! Now, a few years back, me and Nevada Jack were hot on the trail of finding one of these lost caches of silver coins. All the clues lined up perfectly. And we found the original spot that was talked about in the old manuscripts. It looks something like this. Now, the story says it was on the Spanish Trail, and the Spanish Trail is right here. Now, this is what's called a centennial marker. The centennial marker basically was put here in 1964 by a guy named Sherwin Scoop Garside. Now, if you want to learn more about the Spanish Trail, I highly recommend you get this book. It's called The Old Spanish Trail Across the Mojave Desert by Harold Steiner. Fantastic book. I've used this book so many times to pinpoint where the trail goes, because there's a lot of old treasures that are supposed to be along here. This is one of the markers they were talking about. This is clearly a man riding a bicycle. See the front wheel and the back wheel? And he's got his hand on his hip and he's going this way.
I didn't think the Paiutes had bicycles.
And this is a guy on a unicycle. Ah, look, the 4 Bs. March 15th, 1925. Wow. RMB, WB, EC, EGB, and JGB.
Wow, look at that.
I told you it was there. And you thought I was crazy, huh? But it's a map of some kind. There and see all the petroglyphs? Yeah, they're all over the place.
Predate the campfire.
You see the map I was talking about?
Yeah, right here.
So you think that's the big rock here?
Yeah.
And then this is where the possible treasure's buried here.
The book says that they moved the treasure and buried it someplace.
So they moved it from the big rock to somewhere else, and you think that they could have inscribed the location on that rock?
Well, in sort of a code.
I got several rocks in here. They're all made out of limestone. There's one here, and I got a group of them over there. That looks like a big hole there. I'm curious about that one. That looks like a good fortification. But I'll check these out first, see what we got. Ooh, got targets already. 22 casing. Somebody's been digging. Sounds like wire. Somebody's been up here, dug a really big hole. And it looks like it's pretty old too. Look at this. This is growing up out of there. Maybe this is where the silver boxes were at, and somebody's already found them. Because this looks like a good place to hide them, and it's a good fortification too. You can see where it's been burned. They had a fire that came through here about 10, 15 years ago. But man, look at the size of that hole. I can stand in that thing. I'll bet you this is where the boxes were at. Now, I've been up in these hills for the last 40 years, and there are caves everywhere because this is all sandstone. And sandstone, as you know, is a sedimentary rock, and it weathers really easy. And you'll see there's little pockets and caves everywhere like this one. See that? You'll find them everywhere up here. And of course, I've seen some caves out here are big enough to put a house in. In the mid-1850s, Mormons established a mining camp at Ptoy near Mountain Springs in the Spring Mountain Range just southwest of Las Vegas. There they mined lead ore, primarily used for making bullets, but the low-yield ore and Indian troubles caused them to shut down, and by 1861, the Colorado Mining Company renewed its operations. In 1897, two brothers, a mule skinner, headed southwest from Utah with a wagon load of supplies and 2 chests holding $20,000 in silver coins for the Colorado Mining Company. Near Mountain Springs, they were attacked by Indians who killed one brother outright and left the other 2 men for dead. A few days later,
they were found seriously wounded but still alive, and were taken to the Colorado Mining Company's camp and placed in the care of a Paiute woman there. Neither recovered from their wounds, but before they died, one of the men told the women that just before the attack, they had managed to hide the 2 chests of silver behind a large rock. Later, though wounded, the 2 survivors were able to scrape a swallow depression in the dirt where they deposited all the silver coins. After the 2 men died, the Indian woman tried unsuccessfully to locate the silver coins. She finally told others about the treasure, and the 2 searched, but within vain and without success. In this century, there was so much traffic through the area that even a highway was built westward through the Spring Mountain Range. And today at Mountain Springs, a small community consists of only 150 people. And yet no trace has ever surfaced of the nearby chests of buried silver coins.
Now, a lot of the old manuscripts shows that there's clues, and one of them says that there's an arch, like this one. Isn't that cool? And you can only get to it from one angle, and you can't see it from anywhere. You have to literally be up on it to see it. So that's how I know that I'm close. So from here, we're gonna go through the arch and up to the top and over to the other side. Because my understanding is you go through the eye of the needle and you go up through here to the saddle. And on the other side should be a cave. And make sure you bring plenty of water, because it can get plenty hot out here in the desert. Even though it might seem cool, the air temperature, the UV index, is a lot higher than it has been normally in a long time. And there's areas where you can find petrified wood inside of this sandstone. It looks something like this. Look at this sandstone. See this rusty stuff right here? You know what that is? That's fossilized wood, or petrified wood as they call it. Now that's probably around when the dinosaurs are walking around. See that? There's a piece there and there's a piece there. Now sandstone, it's got bedding planes to it. It does fracture really, really easy along those bedding planes. So there's just tons and tons of petrified wood stuck in between these bedding planes. And look at that. See this one that I cleaned off, this really big one? Look at that. That's a piece of fossilized wood. Isn't that cool? That right there is petrified wood. That's about 180 to 190 million years old. Oh, wow, look at this. And we got water out here too. Nice. I just gotta watch out. Make sure there's no other critters in here. That looks a little tight. Look at that, isn't that cool? This is exactly what they were talking about. It's a natural fissure in the sandstone. I'm gonna see if I can squeeze my way back into there. I can feel a breeze. I can definitely feel a breeze. Back there. It's definitely tight. Oh yeah, hopefully it opens up because it's getting pretty tight. Yeah, it's tight. Take a look. It just gets tighter and tighter. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Yeah, I might be able to squeeze a little bit further back. Looks like it does open up a little bit up there. Oh yeah. Oh, look at those crickets. Crickets everywhere. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this if you're claustrophobic. And this is the kind of places that they would hide these treasures at, because they knew nobody would come here. Look at that cricket right there. See him? That cricket. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, highly don't recommend this if you're claustrophobic. Now, the neat thing about these caves is that it's a great place to get away from the heat in the summertime, and there's a nice draft blowing through here, which is always a good sign. But the problem is that a lot of critters like to get in here too, and it's the perfect food chain, so you really need to be careful if you're coming in here. All right, I'm gonna go a little bit further, and then I'm gonna... Speaking of treasure hunts, we like to put treasure hunts on every year. Now, next year, we're gonna be putting on another treasure hunt. The last one we just put on looks something like this. Woo, doggy!
What is that?
If that don't make you drool, nothing will. Those are all silver Morgans and silver bars on top.
Hey everyone, I'm David Soul. I found Slim's treasure. I'm going to show you how I deciphered the map real quick, but before I do, I want to say thank you to Jeff and Slim for making this possible for everyone. It was a very fun and exciting adventure to be on. I also want to thank my brother Rick for coming out last minute and making sure I didn't die out there by myself. And also I want to thank everyone on Patreon who's already shown love for, the find. So let's just get right into it. All right, so right here we got the map and the list of clues. I did locate Arch Stanton's grave, but no treasure in sight.
So I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a little unknown marking. And then if you look down, right down in that hole, I dug up the last bag of gold ore, which currently is sitting right over here. Super excited, can't wait to get that home and pan it out.
It was buried directly underneath the unknown headstone. When I got up to that location, discovered a small series of caves around the base of it, many of which were tucked up around the corner, and sweeping it pretty thoroughly with a metal detector. That was when we did discover the treasure.
Folks, I think we got this. Right down there you'll see the trees that we had found the unknown marked grave and Arch Stanton in a straight line with the red cross on the map, the black cross on the map, and the two other points that are marked Slim's Pan and Slim's Pick, drawing a straight line through, coming all the way up here. And we found this little cove of small caves, and in this little one right here we got a pretty decent hit. And as I cleared away some rocks, I just happened to see that. Yeah. So let's get this out of here, shall we? All right. This is awesome, bro. Yeah. Watch out. Yeah. I don't want these to fall on your feet.
No worries.
Please keep an eye above my head.
Yeah, I will.
Oh! Ah! Woo! Yeah. Oh my God, that is heavy. One Pony Express box. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Woo! All right, folks, we got to get this down the hill.
Again, thank you, Jeff and Slim. Thank you to my brother Rick, and thank you to all of you out there for the support. It was very fun and exciting, and I look forward to the next one.
See that? That's the yesterday's Pony Express box. And it's filled with gold and silver. Run, run and tell the other Caribbean patrons that the treasure hunt is coming. You tell them I'm coming, and the treasure's coming with me, you hear? The treasure's coming with me! If you want to get involved with that, all you got to do is look for the little icon at the end of the video that looks something like that. Click on it, make a $10 pledge, and you're gonna like Flynn. And I'll see you on the next video.